All right, good afternoon. Welcome to day two. We are so sorry. We're starting 2-3 minutes late. Sorry about that. Um, sorry about that. Welcome everyone. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? All right, so this is day two of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy annual conference with the theme Baby Step to Purpose. So yesterday we had some really explosive session with parents coaches like Wendy Ologe, Chinyere Obina, and Tega or Morga. They were really, as in really explosive sessions. And you can actually catch them. You can actually catch the replay of these sessions on our YouTube channel. Okay, so just check for the link. Okay, check for the link if you're on Facebook. Just check for the link on Facebook. It's all over the place on Facebook. You can check for the link and then join us on YouTube. All right, so if you are with me, all right, I need you to say something so that we know that we've got company. Just say hello and let us know where you are joining us from. All right, and please make sure that you have clicked the link to allow us get access to your name, or StreamYard get access to your name so that it can show us who is typing a message or who is posting a message during the course of the discussion. All right, so today, yes, so today our guest is none other but Aloyshima Shakra. All right, so she is an educator and she is a childcare practitioner. Okay, her bio has been on the group, in the group for, all morning. So I'm sure you must have taken a peek into what she's about and what she does. So today she'll be talking to us about how we can create a solid foundation in our home, or how we can create an excellent environment for lifelong learning in our homes. This is very dear, very dear to my heart, right? Foundation and lifelong learning and all that. Yesterday, when Wendy was talking, she talked about skills. Okay, she said, she said if you're not teaching your children skills, or the habits that can last and skills that can transform, then you are not ready. You're not ready for parenting, because it's not enough that our children just gather knowledge, right? Book knowledge, and they cannot apply this knowledge, or they cannot use it in ways that can benefit them or to benefit the world. So the best way, if you're going to get your children to be people who are teachable, right? We're going to get them to be people who are ready to learn, people who are consistently, ready to learn, right? Then we have to start from the very beginning. We have to start from the foundation stage, okay? So today we are going to be talking to teachers, right? Teachers are going to be speaking with us. Most of the people who are speaking with us today are educators in one way or the other. So it's very important that we write in the comments, then. They like it when they get feedback from their students. If a teacher is teaching and the teacher is not getting feedback from from the students or the pupils or whatever, it means learning is not happening. So please, if you're here, type in the comments. Let's know you are here. Let us know who you are. Let's know where you're watching from. Okay? All right. So I'm going to bring our guest on screen right away. So everyone, let's make let's make a loud noise and give a round of applause to our guest, Aloyshima Shaji. All right.
Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Hi, Mary Beth. How are you doing? Hello, everyone.
It's good to have you, Alu. In the post earlier on, the first post I wrote this morning, I said that the people that I was bringing on today, our guests for today, are all people that I've worked with at one point or the other. And then I was telling the people that no, I do not kid them. These are people who are like educators from their hearts. These are people who are passionate about educating, whether it's children or whoever they're educating. And I know this because I have worked with you, right? As in, Alu is my friend. Okay, so let's go that far. So she's my friend. And I don't know too many people that are as passionate as this woman is about what she does. Yeah, and it so happens I've seen her do other jobs that she wasn't half this passionate about. So when she came into education, and I just said to myself, aha, now
this is
now this chicken has come to roast. You have actually come to your home, right? So thank you very much for agreeing to be here. Thank you for agreeing to do this. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll just go backstage and allow you take the floor.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Mary Beth has done all the introduction. I don't need to do much. I was really excited when she invited me to come and speak in this conference. I was excited because I was going to be learning a lot myself as well. The lineup is amazing. They're great people with experience. Today, she's having me to speak on building the foundation for lifelong learning. I'm going to share my screen. I'm new with at StreamYard, so in case you don't hear me or you can't see, just let Mary Beth know. So let me go ahead and do that. One moment. Okay. I'm going to try that again. Just hold on, share screen.
Okay, I added it earlier and then it disappeared again.
Yes.
All right, so Ali's trying to get her. She's trying to get her slide on, right?
Yes, I am. Okay, I think I'm going to go this way. Mary Beth, do let me know if you can see it now.
Yes, you're up now. Your screen is up.
It's up. Can you see building an excellent? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can see building an excellent foundation for lifelong learning.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead. Mary Beth said we're going to be speaking about the foundation for lifelong learning. When I think about foundation, first, I would like to think about the child as a whole. When we're blessed with children, the foundation starts right from the start. It starts right from when the child is a baby. We start laying the foundation for lifelong learning. So, what do children require from us in the first 3 years of life as parents? What do they require? Recent research shows that children require from us great relationships and experiences to develop their brains. So the first 3 years are the most critical in shaping your child's brain. So from the first 3 years of a child's life, or first five at least, what the child will require from you to build that foundation for the lifelong learning to occur will be experiences and relationship that will stimulate and develop millions of brain cells for them. Learning cannot occur if a child doesn't develop properly. So, for the first step towards building a foundation is for you to be able to stimulate the child's brain cells and the neurons for the development to occur. So, how can this, as a parent, I have a baby, I have a child, how can I begin to stimulate these brain cells for the development to occur? I need to create experiences. I need to create relationships, and these are the things that will trigger the development to to occur. So, what do I need? First and foremost, as parents, what the children need for us in the first 3 to 5 years is they need our love. They need nurturing. We need to love the children. Let the child understand that you love them by the words and the actions that you say to them. Let them understand that they are loved. They also need encouragement and mental stimulation. This is very important. As your child, even when a baby starts to take the first steps, the child will require an encouragement, acknowledgement from you to be able to take those steps, go on to toddling, and then walking eventually. So the encouragement, the mental stimulation for them to take these steps, for them to develop, is also required. As basic as this sounds, children also require nutritious meals. They need physical activity, and they need good health care from us as well. I also said that through relationships, children will get the vital information. For instance, it's the relationship that you have with your child. The way you're speaking with your child at an early age will communicate to them if you value them, if they're important, if they're loved. And this is the information that they will take to interact with their world. So the children will learn if the world is a safe place or not based on the relationship that you will have from them with them. They will know who loves them by the way they talk to them. They will know what happens when they cry or they laugh. Is someone listening to me? Is someone looking out for me? And number five is my best point. It's something that is really, really important that we need to give to children in the first 3 to 5 years of their life. It's play. We need to allow them play. This sounds like really, okay, out of the box, maybe to some, right? But this is so true. Research has shown that it is through play that children are given opportunities to explore, to observe, to experiment, to solve problems and learn life skills. These skills that they learn include communicating, thinking, solving problems, moving and being with other people and other children. I'm going to try and go back out one moment and see. Yes. So it's so important for us to go through the things that I've listed, for us to know what is important, to know what is necessary in the first 3 to 5 years of life. What love language are you speaking to the children? What kind of relationship are you showing the child at an early age that they cannot speak, or you're too busy to give them attention? So for the first 3 to 5 years, this is what the child requires. This is what the child requires from you as a parent to give the development in the brain. So we're looking at it as actions, but these actions have a profound effect to the kind of foundation that they're laying. They're stimulating brain cells, they're sending messages for the child to lay the right foundation to growing up. A relationship will create an experience. An experience will develop a neuron that will give the child a memory that is good, that will go on to create a love for learning or not. Number two, towards building the right foundation is all about what to choose, how to choose a school that adds value. I would like to speak about how to choose a school that adds value when you're looking as parents after the child you give birth to a child. Sometimes we need we're busy, we cannot take charge of the education, or you would like someone that is trained as an early years practitioner to support your child's development at a school. So before you choose a school, there are lots of things. There are some things that you need to look at. There's so many things actually, but I chose a few to speak about when choosing a school. Please just put your questions in the comment box. I'm sure Mary Beth will stop me at one point or the other for us to go over the questions. So when picking a school, these are some of a school, not just a school, one that adds value. So when choosing a preschool or a school, remember that childhood learning is built on trusting relationship. I spoke on your role for supporting children when they're born. I said it was about relationships and it was about experiences. Now you are taking your child to you're going to take your child to a preschool. I think this preschool should be one that builds trusting relationship. This means they should have good educators that don't yell, that don't cluck their tongues at the children, that don't roll their eyes, good educators that will build positive relationships. But you know something, positive relationships are hard to define. But I bet you when you go to a preschool and you see one that has is offering positive relationships, you will know. I wrote out a list of some important things to watch out for when we go to visit a setting, when we want to choose a school for a child. Number one, just look at the way the adults are talking to the children. Are they talking to them in nurturing and encouraging ways? Is the teacher standing up and the child is down and is giving the child a command, or the educator has come on the level of the child, is looking at the child, encouraging the child and telling them, yes, you can do it. Yes, you are safe here. Yes, we love you. And yes, we believe in you. Another thing to look out for when you go to a setting, ask them this question. What do you do when children are behaving inappropriately? Because we know that dealing with young children, even as mothers and fathers, we see this. It's not every time that children do what you expect them to do. So for you to know if the school, because you want to lay everything in place so the foundation is solid. So you want to ask, the question to ask is, what is your policy on when a child is behaving inappropriately? Will they be punished? Will they be spoken to? Will they be encouraged? Will they try to go to the root foundation? Because I bet you behind every tantrum or any inappropriate behavior, if you dig right in deep, there's something that is causing it. So it will do you well to find out, will they punish your child? Will they tell your child, go over in the corner and face the wall? Your child is crying and they don't want to know why this is happening. I'd like to share a personal experience I had one time about a child that was acting out um, in my group. Every day when she came to school, she didn't want to. All of a sudden, she stopped joining in the activities. When we set up play invitations, she would throw the toys. She would make an absolute mess. So one of the teachers I worked with reminded me that the mom had just given birth. So I just thought to call up the mother, and I was like, are you spending time with her? Are you talking to her, or you're giving all the attention to the newborn? She was like, to be honest, she has been with the baby since she had her. She hasn't even made time to spend any time with her. So all the acting out the child was doing at the setting or at her nursery was a cry for help. She was starved of attention from her mom, and she needed us to fill up the gap. So I spoke, we had a meeting, we partnered again with the parents, the teachers, we did extra, we cuddled her, we asked the mom and dad to take out turns so she won't feel left out as well. So something else to look at, is the classroom fun? Is it joyful? Especially for your young ones. Are you going to take them to a school that the child is 2 to 3 and the tables are so high they can't sit at it? The toys are placed so high the children cannot reach it. The edges of the tables are so sharp that they can give your child a cut or a bruise. So take a look around the classroom. Is it fun? Is it safe? Is it joyful? Is it clean? Does it respect the child? You will know if an environment is respecting a child by the way that they've put out things for the children to explore, to play with. Another thing to look out for is the staff happy? Are they supported? You will see that in the faces of the staff when you definitely visit a setting. So another thing to look at, I would suggest, is how often does the school communicate with the parents? The question to ask is, how do you communicate with parents? Or even when they show you around, they'll tell you, we send emails, we share pictures, we have parents teachers meeting, we send newsletters, we send all of this information. This will show you that they're open to communicating with you and they're ready to partner with you in raising up the child. So this is something that is also really important that you need to look at. So another question to ask is, what type of program or curriculum do they offer? So the next thing I'm going to speak about building a solid foundation is curriculum. So the question you need to ask in this setting you're taking your child to, what is the way that the learning is happening? Are they learning through play? Are they learning through academics? What extra programs are they offering? Because all of these questions will build up to the fact you will know if this school is going to add value to your child or not. Some schools don't have an outdoor play area. How does that help the children? Some of the schools offer nature education. Some schools offer art, music, science. All these are such holistic ways of children to learn right from an early stage. So it's very important for you to find out what kind of curriculum, what kind of program that they offer. Another thing I will ask you to look at is, how are they keeping track of the child's development? Are they doing observations? Is there a way that they can track how the child is developing? You know, children develop in 5 major areas: in language, physically, social emotionally, the way that they problem solve cognitively, and the way that they explore their environment. So you would like to know, how are they keeping track? I'm not talking about giving the child first, second position. I'm talking about how they're keeping track of how your child is developing in all of the developmental areas. So this is something to look at also when you go to pick out a school or a preschool, even for the older ones. When you go, what assessment tools do they have? What are the reporting tools? How are they keeping track of your child in language, in problem cognitive, social emotionally? How are they tracking how the child is doing? So schools that add value have this. These are they need to have like an observation tool or system that they use also. So the next thing I want to talk about that really adds to building a foundation of long life learning is what kind of curriculum, what that your child is exposed to. Just I would say that in early childhood education or care, the word curriculum means different things to different people. Sometimes when you talk about a curriculum, some of them say it's a philosophy. Some people say it's a program. Some people say it's an approach. Some people just say curriculum is the materials that you and the activities you are using to help a child learn or grow. Okay, yes, there are many definitions, but the simple or the underlying thing about the curriculum is, what are the goals, what are the plans for children to acquire skills and knowledge? what are the experience and learning opportunities. So when they say curriculum, it simply means what are the learning outcomes, what are the goals, what are the standards, what are the skills that the children will acquire. So I looked at um, two um, two definitions for curriculum. I said the first one I got from the National Association for Young and Early Children is that the curriculum consists of knowledge and skills. I said that already, to be acquired in a program, as well as the plans for experiences that children learning will take place. So a curriculum should consist of the knowledge. What knowledge will the children be getting? What are the skills? And what are the planned experiences? Uh, the intentional teacher defines a curriculum also as the knowledge and skills teachers are expected to teach and how the children are expected to learn. So when you go to look at a school, this is when you ask the question, what curriculum do you use? Simply what you are asking is, what knowledge will my child be getting? What will the skills what skills will your program be supporting? And how will the learning be happening? Will the children learn when they are playing? Will they learn by sitting at a desk? Will they learn by exploring? Will they learn by touching and feeling? So I gave a list of the different types of curriculums, just a few, because to be honest, in the world over, there are so many types of curriculums that you will see. We have the Montessori method. I'm sure many of us are aware of this and used to this in Nigeria, or like all over the world. When you speak about the Montessori method, most people are aware of it. We have the Reggio Emilia approach, we have the early years foundation framework, the creative approach, American curriculum, emergent curriculum, which is a curriculum of interest, nature, high scope, Waldorf, Bank Street, play based. I just gave a few. I just named a few because they're a lot. There are really a lot of curriculums that are around the world over. I would like to share some tips, practical tips for foundation to early learning, because this is the bedrock. What do we need to do? It's not just knowing what is the how. I think this is something that I really like about this conference, is the tips that it makes available to us to take experience and use. Yesterday I took something. When I listened in on Tega's session, I was able to take something that I would definitely be using with my 9 and my 6-year-old. So the tips I'm going to give that will help to build a foundation are these. Number one, as a parent, you need to be a model of inspiration. How are you inspiring your child? Don't leave this inspiration to come from an outsider. How children are always watching and imitating us. For instance, you cannot say to your child, don't be on the iPad all day when you are on your phone all day. So by showing and they always watch you learning, they will realize that learning is continuous. The child is watching you take a book, you're learning something new, you're learning a new skill, you're watching, they constantly watch you. Oh, mommy's learning something new, daddy's learning something new. So be the model of inspiration that you would want to see, excuse me, you will want to see from your children. It's not just about you saying, hey, go and study or go and learn. They want to really see you doing what you are showing to them. Another tip I would like to share is that assume that everyone learns by doing. Assume that all children learn from doing what I assume that everybody learns by doing something, especially for young children. They're very active. We see that. We'll say, oh, they're energetic, they're active. So If you have this tip at the back of your head, at the back of your mind, it's going to help you build a solid foundation. Use all the resources and materials around you. In the house, we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're running errands with daddy. Use all of the materials that you have around you to build the skills for lifelong learning. For instance, I want my young one to understand what it means to budget. I need to make a grocery list to buy things for the house. What I will be doing is I will invite her to help me take a look around the house. What don't we have here? She will make the list and I'll tell her this is how much we have. How are we going to break down this money to meet up the needs that we have? So I'm using that the need and the resource for budgeting to be able to for her to learn about that skills that skill. And you need to prepare to go outside. I think maybe a mistake that we make as adults is because we are all grown now and we're so busy, we don't want to go outside. But the thing that the thing that we need to do is prepare to take the learning outside as well. There was a time Mary Beth shared a tip on one of her articles or one of the talks that she gave about going on nature walks. Go make out the time to go outside with your children and be deliberate about the learning that will happen. Because if you're using the resources around you, what that is going to help you teach your children is for them to wonder, is for them to ask questions. There's no better way to get children excited about learning than making it fun. If I go out on a walk with my child or I go outside or in the night, I ask them, I wonder how the moon shines. What makes the moon bright? This has started at just having the moon out there has sparked up conversation and questions that will lead to lifelong learning. And it doesn't need to be boring. So the next step I would like to share for the next tip for building a foundation will be praise the effort. I think this is something that as parents, we need to be deliberate about learning. We need to praise the effort. Always praise the effort that the child is making. Say things like, whoa, you practiced that. Look how you've improved. You tried different strategies and figured out how to solve problems. Give the praise, be deliberate about it. You stuck to this now, and look what you did. So don't just let the effort go unnoticed. Many of us grew up in homes where, okay, if you were trying to do something, nobody will say anything about it. As soon as you failed, they'll say, yes, I know you couldn't do it. But now, for you to stimulate the neurons that will create good experiences and will lead to eventual lifelong learning, praise the effort. Be deliberate about praising the effort. Another thing that I would like to Another tip I would like to share with parents is rethink the definition of failure. Don't look at failure as the end. Look at failure as the need to look at failure as opportunity. Tell your child that, okay, yes, you weren't able to do it. Let us debrief, let's talk about it, let's improve, and let's excel. I think this is something that even as a grown up, I needed to unlearn. I needed to say, okay, failure doesn't mean that's the end. Too many of us are setting up our children to fail because we make them feel like failure is such a bad thing. But we need to just go back, reset, and present failure to the children as an opportunity to try again. Let's be deliberate in the way that you're presenting failure to the children. If I'm going to something. This is something that I can speak about for the whole day. we have the thing, this mindset that if the child has failed, they cannot do it. But we need to keep on doing it. We need to keep on encouraging the child. I saw Mary Beth has a question. How is this a question, Mary? Excuse me. Okay, everyone, I just shared some tips. I'm going to take a pause. And if there are any questions now, I would like to take a pause. But I just shared 5 tips. The tips that I shared were this. 4, actually. Be a model of inspiration. Assume that all children learn by doing. Praise the effort. Redefine failure to your child, and then take it from there. If I would like to speak more about using the resources around us to lay the foundation for lifelong learning. I would like to check in with Marybeth because I'm sure that lots of questions have come up. If there are any, I would like to take it from there and then go for, before we go on.
All right, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
My network has been a bit erratic. All right.
Okay.
It's been a bit
Yes.
erratic. All right. So, people, if you have any questions, please put them on the screen. Let us ask the educator. Let us ask the educator. There are always questions about children. Okay. When you were talking about curriculum, I just started smiling where I'm in here. Oh dear.
We
Am
can
I
hear
up?
you. Yes.
Okay, when you're talking about curriculum, I started smiling here, because a lot of times as parents, especially in this part of the world, when we take our children to school, we are always schools tell us all kinds of, I think my network is a bit erratic
It's
this
good.
afternoon.
It's good, Mary. We can hear you.
Okay, so a lot of times when you go to schools, the first thing that parents ask is usually, what curriculum do you run? And the schools will always come and they'll tell you British curriculum, American curriculum, and then some will tell you Nigerian, British, American infused and all of that. So recently I was at a school and I wanted to know I wasn't even asking for curriculum per se. I was asking for the traditions that they had in the school. I think my network is just shabby this
Yeah.
evening.
Yes,
Can you
Mary,
hear
I can
me?
still, yes, I can hear you. I don't know how it is
All
for
right. So
others,
I was
but I
more
can hear
concerned
you.
even about their traditions because I knew if I start asking curriculum, so I knew if I started asking about curriculum, I'll probably hear things that the person has been taught to say. So I asked, okay, what are the traditions you have in your school? What are the things you do? Because I wanted to know the other ways that the children are learning besides math and science that they do in the classroom. Are we
Yes.
together?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Because basically, whatever school you go to, you're probably doing some math, some language arts, science and all of that. So usually when I go, I want to hear more. Okay, someone said you can hear me. So usually when I go, I want to talk about the traditions that you have. So when I hear your traditions and I hear how the children, so people are always surprised when I am concerned about the playground. Where is the playground? What traditions do you have in your school? What events?
Yes.
What happens in your school basically? Okay, so I went to this school and I was asking these questions that I would ask usually. And the person kept on saying, as in she kept on saying to me, yeah, it's British, American, Nigerian, and all of that, and all of that. Then I'm like, so what does he entail? As a parent, what do I expect? What do I expect in this? Basically, in what you run, So finally, I was like, okay, can I just see some of the books? Let me just see what you use. What do you use? What do you use when
Yeah.
you work with children? And then she went in and then she brought a pile of Nigerian books, and then she had one book, Bond Math. So she had one book, Bond Math, and then she was like, Bond Math is supposed to be British, right? So she's like, Bond Math, yeah. So I'm like, As in, so you say like your methodology is British? Is it like, as in, what exactly? So what I gathered from that conversation was the fact that they had the bond map. So that automatically makes it a British curriculum. And then, of course, when they have probably a British book, an American book, okay, when they probably have a book from an American publisher, something like that,
Yes.
okay, then of course that school automatically runs the British, American, and Nigerian curriculum. So
Oh,
basically, as parents, how do we know when we go and they bamboozle us or they are talking about British American? How do we even know that? I mean, how do
what?
we know what's going on here?
Yes. So the way to know is what are the learning, what are the learning outcomes and goals of the activities? Do they have like a document for this? Are they developmental milestones that they're using to also watch the way that the children is doing? When we looked at the definition of a curriculum, it talked about the knowledge. So if somebody's talking to you about curriculum, what are the knowledge skills that the children will be? What are the knowledge? What are the skills? What are the materials? This is what defines a curriculum. Each curriculum has specific knowledge skills, has specific learning outcomes, has the standards. So if they're talking to you about a curriculum, how you will know if they actually know about the curriculum is what are the knowledge, what is the knowledge, what is the skill sets that they are looking. For instance, the Montessori method has like specific Montessori um, didactic tools or toys that the children work with. Montessori has main principles. Children are looked at as independent. Children are allowed to explore. Children are encouraged to go explore using practical life skills. So if somebody is talking to you, the school says he's offering a Montessori, the environment should reflect it. Independence should be encouraged. Practical life skills should be encouraged. If you also go to a school that says they use the British Early Years Foundation framework, they should show you at least planning that is done on the British curriculum has 8 learning areas. They should show you how they're supporting learning in all of these areas.
Hmm.
So this is the way to know. It's not just a book. It's not just something that they have. It's all encompassing. It's everything. It's the knowledge skills, it's the learning outcomes, it's the standards, it's how experiences are created, it's how the teachers are planning. So it's everything. This is curriculum.
Okay. So someone is asking, thank you, Alu. So someone is asking, what are the learning outcomes? As in, could you give
So
an
now,
example of what the learning outcome could be?
okay, now, for instance, I put, let's say I gather footballs, balls. I put balls in a basket and children are playing with it. As a teacher or a parent, I want them to get something from those balls. Maybe I want, as a teacher, I want, or just simple, this is not even, let's say I want the child to know how to balance because balance is a physical skill. So
Hmm.
my learning outcome is what do I want children to get from playing with these balls? What do I want? What is the benefit of this activity? This is what it means, Janet. So when I say learning outcome, this is what I refer to. At home, when I'm home with my child now, we're cooking in the kitchen. I'm at the back of my head, even without writing it down. I say, okay, what do I want my child to learn from? Maybe we're learning how to cook Nigerian stew. So my learning outcome will be that I want them to know the ingredients in the stew, and I want her to be able to learn how to measure in the oil, the salt, measurement. She can learn non-standard measurement in just this act. So this is what the learning outcome is, what I want them to get from that activity they're doing. So this is something to check for. How will you know if a school has a learning outcome? You ask them, are they doing lesson plans? This is it. Some play areas or preschools don't have any planning. That means all you see there is that the children are they're just playing, and this playing is not connected to
Not
any.
directed.
Yes, it's not directed. There are no developmental skills that this playing is meeting. So if there's a reason for it, there will be the learning outcome, and then this is where the observation to this is was the child able to do it? Did he need more support? Yes, they can do it. Do they need more challenge? No, they cannot do it. Should we try again? So this is it.
Okay. So Alu, thank you very much for this one because these are some of the things that we struggle with parents, especially in this climate. These are the kind of the things that we struggle with. Now you see a parent who has a child in nursery, okay, and then of course there are so many nomenclature now when it comes to class grades. So you go to one
Yes,
school and you hear nursery one, nursery two, nursery three. You go to another school, you hear reception, nursery one, nursery two, and all that. So usually when I speak with parents or when parents are talking to me and they go, he's in nursery three, nursery five, nursery, I'm like, just keep the nursery. How old is this child? As in,
yes,
basically, it will give me an idea. So just leave this because educators, I mean, schools are springing up from everywhere and everybody is
true.
starting a school and all of that. So people start schools and they don't, I mean, we have the knowledge gap. We have this knowledge problem. We want to
Yeah,
start something that we don't go to, go and do the research and do the learning and put effort into doing the learning. Because truth
yeah,
is, we're either copying no, we're either adopting or we're either adopting, borrowing, or merging, or whatever it is we're doing. But hey, we're trying to take something from either the British curriculum, the American curriculum, or any other of these approaches that we're talking about here. So we're trying to
yeah,
borrow from all these places, or we're trying to combine them and piece and bring something out, isn't it? So while we're
yeah,
doing that, it's important that you do I mean some deep level of research enough, right? And then another
yes,
thing that I picked from what you're saying is it means that as parents, if you don't know what you're looking for, then you will take
yeah,
anything. So you are
yes,
saying, oh, you have to go, you have to look at the outcomes when you don't even know that they're supposed to be outcomes. When you don't even know what it is to expect when you go into a Montessori classroom, when you don't even know what it is. So if you don't have, as a parent, you don't even have your own outcomes at the back of your mind. If
yes,
you are
yeah,
not that intentional, because all I hear from you is education is very intentional. Anyway, that's why we
true,
have to take our
true.
children from school and take them home and take them somewhere that is structured, somewhere that is organized, and somewhere that is intentional, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yes, yes,
it simply means that if our children are going to get educated, if our children are going to be learning, there has to be some level of structure, isn't it? So
yes,
you
yes,
must have an outcome at the end. I mean, for everything. So basically, it's like what I love to say. I parent from the end. It simply
so
means I have an outcome. I mean, I have the outcomes that I am looking at. So because I have that outcome at the back of my mind, I'm able to parent based on that outcome. And so what I'm trying to do is I will help the children, or I will work with the children to put everything in place that will help us reach that
that
outcome.
outcome. That's so right, Mary. But gone are the days when everything was left to chance. You need to
Yeah.
be very, very intentional about what you want your children, how you want your children to grow. Look how it's connected. The work starts from you, the parent. You go, you do your research, you bring it in, you use it to support the what where you want to see your child be. There are so many children out there. It's not just okay for you to just leave it to chance. You need to
Yeah.
be intentional about what you want the child to be getting. Because I said something from the start, it's about experiences. So if let's say you, the mom, you did your part well, but you weren't intentional about picking out the school, and the school has gone to give a bad experience and damage the work you have done, your child might develop a phobia for for learning. And you will not
Yeah.
understand. This boy used to be excited about learning. Why is it that he doesn't want to go to school? Why is he refusing to write? You won't even understand that. It's because you didn't look into the school you were picking. So everything is connected. From
Connected.
you doing your work at home, from picking out the kind of schools, these schools, are their values aligned with yours? Do they respect and value the child? And then are they going to partner with you? Because to be honest, education is, it's all partnership.
Partnership.
The
Okay.
child learns from himself, the parents, and the teacher. It's all interconnected. So this is something that we need to be very, very deliberate about.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Alu. You have passed, I mean, in a very subtle way, you have passed a lot of messages. Okay. We don't even have time. Our next guest is going to be here in a few minutes. But before we run off, can you give us your last word? Give us your last word that you're saying to parents, I mean, today.
Oh, okay, the last word I'm saying is this: the foundation is everything. When you
Yeah.
build a house, if the foundation is shaky, it will not stand. What
To
will
understand.
the righteous do if the foundation is not right? So we need to get the foundation totally right. Moms, dads, go out, research. Do you know there are sites that will just, you don't need to be an educator. They'll tell you 0 to 5. How is my child developing? I know what is the most important thing from 0 to 5 from my child. From 8 to 10, most important. Then, as I go to pick the schools, these schools, are they supporting this child 0 to 5? Then you find that you support to form a holistic adult that can stand to face problem, because at the end of the day, it's not even what the child is learning in school, it's about the skills. So how have you been deliberate about laying the foundation to build like the solid skills? So this is what I'll leave with you today. Be intentional about the foundation, and everything else will stand strong. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for being
Hi
here. Thank
guys, it
you
was nice
for
coming
sharing
on.
all of this with us for free. So Alu runs a group on Facebook. She has a page on Facebook. It's called the Emergent Teacher. She has lots of resources there. Emergent, right? Right.
Yes,
So
the
she has lots of
emergency.
resources there. If you have young children, toddlers, please, then you want to check out that page and follow her. It's not
Yes.
about schools sending you the child had 80 over 90, 60 over 70 for your preschooler. It's not you looking at, he cannot write 1 to 100. It is about skills and the skills that your child
Will
is
amaze
able to
you.
achieve at that stage. Exactly.
Yes.
So thank you very
Yes.
much, ma'am. And thank you for
Bye.
everyone who joined us. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Chinyere. I see you on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you
Everyone,
all.
hi Lami, thank you everyone. All right, so don't go away. We're coming right back into the studio with our next guest, Ronke Oyinda. All right, have a lovely, lovely evening. Bye.